What's up, everybody, man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today I'm relaunching the classic Godzilla Q&A series, and we're going to be talking about Godzilla's lore and history in the MonsterVerse. Specifically, if Godzilla 2014 is a juvenile, generally how old he might be, and we'll also be touching on if Shimo helped him take on Ghidorah in the past. There's a lot to cover, so let's jump into it. It is time, for the first time since 2018, I am going to be doing a Godzilla Q&A. This was a series I used to do all the time. For now, we're focusing on MonsterVerse lore, and this was not originally going to be a series that I returned to or revisited, but I've been becoming something of an expert on Godzilla 2014 lately. I have just completed the main part of my Godzilla 2014 lore deep dive video series, where I go super in-depth with the lore of Godzilla 2014, literally more in-depth than I've ever seen anybody on the internet go, to piece together the full timeline of events that happens in that movie. I've also dived in and finally read the entire start to finish Godzilla The Art of Destruction. Next up, I'll be revisiting the original script and novelization, and hopefully by then, I'll be the leading Godzilla 2014 expert around here. But for now, I just released a video, Was Godzilla Weakened, by the MUTO's EMP, which was part of my Godzilla 2014 lore series, and I got a lot of questions on that video that I feel like deserve some answers. Well, I will cover a lot of these topics in later lore videos, like when I get into King of the Monsters and beyond. I understand people had questions right now, and I shouldn't make them wait until way later to get into those answers, so I might as well jump into it here and relaunch the Godzilla Q&A. If you have any lore questions that you want answered, comment those down below. I'd love to answer some lore questions with you guys. Also, I feel like you should probably just drop a hype on this video. You guys hyped the heck out of my previous news and update that I brought that up on. Hyping is a new feature on YouTube. It's done wonders for that last video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys want to see more Godzilla Q&As, make sure to hype this video to let me know. And like the video. Don't you dare forget to like this video. That should just be the first thing you do when you see this face. Like the video, hype the video. Let's get into it. I found some questions on that video that I thought were interesting enough to tackle. In reference to Godzilla being a little weaker in 2014 than he is in later movies, Owlite the Sneak asks, wasn't Godzilla a juvenile? I know he's been around for millions of years, but reptiles age slowly, so these years could be his equivalent of like 7 to 16 years old. As for how he imprisoned Ghidorah, Shimo most likely helped. Well, absolutely no, he's not. As far as the intentions of the 2014 Godzilla film go, Godzilla was actually supposed to be seen as something more like an old samurai who's retired, stepping back into the fight after a long time. Not that he ever laid down the fight, but just that over time, you know, the Titans subsided, they hibernated, and so did he. Now the Titans were reawakening, and his noble duty was reactivated, so he was coming back out to do his job, to put them in check. Which is only sort of the truth. Serizawa does theorize in Godzilla 2014 that Godzilla is here to, you know, restore balance, that nature has an order, a power to restore balance. Nature has that order. Godzilla simply was the power in this instance, which does leave some leeway. Is Godzilla actually nature's order? Does Godzilla actually always serve as a power to restore balance? Maybe not. Dr. Serizawa later theorizes in Godzilla 2014 that what Godzilla is actually doing when he's chasing down the MUTOs is hunting. He believes it's a type of hunting behavior, and in a way, that's not quite the right way to look at it, because hunting would mean that Godzilla is going to feast upon the MUTO, whereas more accurately, what Godzilla is doing is more like self-preservation, hunting the MUTO down so that they can't spawn, because that species feeds upon his species, so he needs them out of the picture so that he doesn't die. In a way, yes, he is hunting them down. You know, Serizawa likens him to an apex predator. But as for Godzilla being a juvenile, there's nothing in any of the movies that suggests that. The intention behind Godzilla 2014 was maybe that he's on the older side of being an adult. Let's say like maybe in his 60s-ish if we're to relate it to human terms, although that's actually explained away in Godzilla King of the Monsters. We find out that for millions of years, the reason Godzilla survives is because he goes through this period of like change and transformation and sort of like a rebirth in and of itself. He rejuvenates himself. He renews his life.
He's feeding, regenerating.
This is his home.
This is how he survived for so long. Always adapting, evolving.
Not like he's literally dying and rebirthing. He stays young by going to his temple in Hollow Earth and soaking up radiation. Godzilla seems to be a very unique titan in that he has the ability to never age. Godzilla's more accurately like a 30-year-old man, somewhere in his 30s. He's like a peak prime adult, ready to go, ready to fight at his physical peak. And Godzilla, by using his Hollow Earth temple, which Serizawa does destroy, was always able to renew himself, to keep himself alive, to sustain himself. Godzilla basically had the fountain of youth down there. Now they did blow that up, which raises some questions. How's Godzilla going to behave now? I don't think the MonsterVerse movies are actually very interested in answering those questions at all, which is rather unfortunate because I would love to dive into that topic. I'm like, well, now that Godzilla's temple's destroyed, is the Hollow Earth radiation the same type of radiation that sustains him? Doesn't seem like it. People can walk around in Hollow Earth and they're just fine. Dr. Serizawa wouldn't have lasted a few minutes in Godzilla's nuclear chamber or he would have died. So it's a very different type of radiation. And without that very special type of radiation, which just so happens to be the type we produce here on the surface through things like nuclear reactors and atomic bombs, Godzilla will die eventually. Who knows how long? A very long time. Godzilla's millions of years old. We don't actually really know much about his physiology or biology. We don't really actually know much about his species. So it's possible the clock has started and Godzilla's rapidly approaching his death already. Or it's possible in another couple thousand or maybe millions of years, Godzilla will die because he no longer has a chamber of radiation that sustains him. Or maybe he just went and found another one. Maybe he just found another one. All that to say, Godzilla's not a juvenile. Kong, however, was an adolescent in Kong Skull Island. That might be what you're thinking of, but Godzilla definitely wasn't. As for Shimo helping Godzilla freeze Ghidorah, now this is something I'm gonna have to look more into. What we know from Godzilla King of the Monsters is that Ghidorah arrived on Earth a very long time ago. He caused massive amounts of devastation across the planet. Civilizations came to fear him. Ghidorah was something that people didn't even feel comfortable talking about. He was the devil incarnate. Wherever he went, death and destruction followed. Godzilla and Ghidorah fought a couple times. Their rivalry was ancient and unique. Godzilla was the only one who dared stand against Ghidorah and who could stand a chance. Maybe there was other monsters that dared stand against Ghidorah, but they perished in his wake. We don't know. What we do know is that at least 2 ancient battles with Ghidorah were depicted by different ancient civilizations. There's the cave painting of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah, which is discovered in Kong Skull Island, and in Godzilla King of the Monsters, a separate cave art of the Hollow Earth civilization depicts Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, in fact a MUTO, all taking on Ghidorah. Seems like Godzilla's leading them into battle together, and maybe that was one of the ways they repelled Ghidorah originally. Eventually, at some point, Godzilla is able to freeze Ghidorah. The way he does that was revealed in Godzilla The Art of Destruction. He basically shoots Ghidorah out of the sky, Ghidorah lands in the water, it's freezing cold out there in Antarctica, some ice falls on top of Ghidorah, and he freezes on his way back up. Like, the water's so cold it's rapidly freezing around him, and that's why he freezes in that position. Now, Godzilla Kong the New Empire tells us that Shimo is the one who caused the last ice age. The novelization for Godzilla Kong the New Empire reveals that the ice Ghidorah was in is ice that Shimo has created. Therefore, Shimo doesn't have to be necessarily involved in that battle at all. It's more likely that it was just the same time period that Shimo caused the ice age that Godzilla finally was able to trap Ghidorah in the ice. That seems more likely. As for why Ghidorah wasn't able to destroy the entire planet or lead all of the Titans together into battle against Godzilla, well, it's possible that Shimo being on the surface played some part in that. You know, Shimo's a pretty powerful Titan, and there's no guarantee she would have followed Ghidorah's orders, especially because he didn't have a little magic crystal. It's also very likely that it's because there was more Godzillas wandering around. Godzilla is a part of a species, despite the fact that they can't really talk about it currently in the lore because of legal reasons, but Godzilla is a part of a species in the MonsterVerse, and at some point that species was pretty plentiful, so it's possible that Ghidorah was never able to gain a true foothold on the planet because there was enough Godzillas out there keeping things in check. Our Godzilla does seem to be the one that fought Ghidorah specifically, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I love doing these Godzilla Q&As. I'm gonna do a lot more because I really do enjoy it. I like clearing up misconceptions or going into detail on the timeline and history of the MonsterVerse like this. I have a lot of fun doing it, so let's keep it rolling. If you have any questions, comment those down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, what do you think? How old do you think Godzilla might be in the 2014 film? Where do you think his age kind of lies? I think he is supposed to be generally like peak adult, so in his 30s. But let me know down below. Let me know what you think. As always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue to make videos like this for you. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. If that's not your thing, please consider joining as a channel member. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.